Welcome to the DMV Boxing Network Show, where we talk about topics that deal with fights and fighters in the DMV area, and also invite guests here to talk about what's coming up here within the area and beyond. It's time to start the show. Yo, what's up? What's going on? What's good, everybody? That's right. We are here. We are back. Yeah, that's right. We are back here for the DMV Boxing Network Show. This is episode 3. And we got a number of topics here that we're going to be talking about here on this particular show. And there's been, a lot of action that's, happened over the past, several weeks. And then we got a number of things here that's coming up here for boxing in the DMV, whether it's, pros that have something going on. We got a couple of amateur shows that's on the works here. We had like a couple that, have already happened here in this particular area too. So like I said, here within the DMV, there is a lot of action happening with this area, right? So, we got a number of topics here that we're going to be talking about here on this particular episode. As we got, like I said, a number of fights coming up, that deal with some local fighters. We got a big one here coming up this Saturday, man. A big one, coming up this Saturday. So definitely looking forward to that. And, we got a few other topics here that, deal with some major fighters within the area that we're going to be seeing here in action here real soon, right? So we're going to have that here and, have a few other guests here that's going to be jumping on to speak about it. So we're just, going to be waiting on them to come through. But, support the show here, to hit the like button, hit the share button as always. And, we're going to see about working towards getting, more guests here on for the DMV Boxing Network Show. All right. So got that here started off. And so, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, start it off with one of the topics here as we got an upcoming fight tomorrow, right? It's going to be a really important fight tomorrow, right? So we're going to get into it here, right? So we got the professor, Mykal Fox, taking on Serhii Bohachuk in Commerce, California. Now, does he have the tools to get it done? Yep, like I said, Mykal Fox is there, of course, with a record of 24 wins, 4 losses. There, of course, hailing from Upper Marlboro, Jeter Promotions fighter. Now has this opportunity with Serhii Bohachuk tomorrow at the Commerce Casino in Commerce, California. Of course, Bohachuk is there as a contender in the 154-pound division. Of course, a number of fight fans know him from his bout that he had against Virgil Ortiz Jr. last August, where we ended up losing a close decision there to Virgil Ortiz Jr. He was able to knock down Virgil Ortiz in that particular bout, and some people kind of like felt that he won that fight. Now he's back in the mix here. After having one fight in December against Ismail Davis over in Riyadh, and with Mykal Fox, he's had a couple of fights, here in the area, under Jeter Promotions, 2 Jeter Promotions events. So now he's right in this position to go ahead and have this big, upcoming fight. So let me see. So I'm gonna check if I could, get my folks on here on this joint. Hold on just a minute, because we're trying to see if we could get more of our guests on and see if we could be able to talk about this. So I'm gonna see if I could, get my guys on the team to join in, and then see if they could go ahead and speak on, what's going on here with these particular topics. But outside of that, we'll just have these guests on to talk about, like I said, with Mykal Fox getting this opportunity against Serhii Bohachuk, right? Now, the other thing about it was that, I talked with Mykal Fox, some time back. He was commentating for the fight card that happened at Bowie State University, headlined by Greg Outlaw Jr., right? And, he said that, hey, he's been in the gear, he's been locked in, for the upcoming fight against Serhii Bohachuk, right? And that, he said that maybe Bohachuk had been, kind of doing a few things here in camp that's, trying to get him to get down in weight or something like that. So maybe he had to, spend a lot of the time in camp trying to get his weight down. And so, for the time being, or at least when I had talked with him, that they said that this particular bout is at a catch weight. I mean, it's not even at 154 plus 2. It could be 154 plus 3. So could be having it at around 157 pounds for that fight that's coming up in Carson, California. They're supposed to be on UFC Fight Pass there, so you'll be able to see that bout on UFC Fight Pass. It's under 360 Promotions there through Tom Loeffler. So definitely you'll have that as a good fight card that's going to be on there. Like they got about a good amount of fights that's going to be on that card too tomorrow. But definitely here with this fight with Mykal Fox against Serhii Bohachuk, that's going to be really key there in that one, or in that mix, right? So I'm going to see here also with something, because looks like they said a few people was having issues getting on, but we're going to see how we could work this, because it's supposed to be able to do that. So hold on just a minute, because I gotta test something here also real quick. Let me see if I could do something here, on the side. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me see, yo, what's going on, Ed McQueen, man? What's happening there with you? You know what I'm saying? So let me see here what I got. I might have two different things. Yeah, man, this thing is you see here, man, you got two different joints going on. So that was my test right there. You know what I mean? So with that being said, right, we got this thing going on. All right, so yeah, we got to test it on. We got to test it going. So we got my guy here, of course, well connected. Elite Sports is in the building. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, my guy?
What's up, man? Where your horn and your all that stuff at, man?
Hold up. There it is, man. There it is, man. What's happening with you, man?
No, what's up, man?
Oh man, doing good, man. Doing good. Got all this action going on in the DMV, man, and so we wanted to go chop it up and talk about a few things here with it.
Okay.
I started off with this joint about Mykal Fox. He got the thing going down tomorrow night over in California. So it was talking about that as far as like him facing Bohachuk. Bohachuk, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with Bohachuk, around this time. So we got to see like how, he's going to be going into this fight. But Mykal Fox said he's definitely ready, for the bout. And wants to get in the mix there at 154 pounds. And for me, I mean, it's like something where he doesn't, necessarily have to get down to 147 or anything like that. So he don't have to necessarily worry much about that, even though he does his like walk around weight is close to 154 or whatever anyway, because he don't really like balloon up that much.
Okay. Well, what you want to know what I feel, how I feel about the fight?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I feel like, man, that's gonna be a hard, tough fight for him, man. Step up to 154, especially Bohachuk, man. Bohachuk packs a punch. You know what I'm saying? And he come nonstop. You know what I'm saying? You've seen he set Virgil Ortiz down twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's definitely gonna be a tough task for him. I mean, I feel like that fight can go either way. It can go either way. It all depends on who executes their game plan first. You know what I'm saying? But if he go in there and try to fight Bohachuk fight, man, I think it's gonna be a hard night for him, man.
Yeah, it'll be a hard night. Now, I mean, the thing about it is he's there, of course, like 6'4", 6'5", reached up like 81, so he definitely has that reach advantage. But if they have the thing with the ring, right, where it's not that, not that large, like you would have range to move around or something like that, then Bohachuk wouldn't have to worry about cutting off the ring too much. So that's the thing that I would have to check out, tomorrow, is if they have the ring, pretty small there for that upcoming bout. and that could help Bohachuk a lot against a tall guy like Mykal Fox, where he wouldn't be moving around the ring that much over the course of those rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's the thing that, like, I'm looking forward to that, seeing what Mykal Fox does. If he gets the win, like I said, he'll be in the mix there. At 154. I mean, they have a whole lot of contenders out there at that particular division, man. You got Virgil Ortiz Jr. out there. You know what I'm saying? You got of course, world champions there. Another tall guy there in Sebastian Fundora that had 2 titles, but he had to give up one of them. You got Xander Zayas out there in the mix too.
Xanazaz. Yeah.
Yeah, Xander Zayas. Yeah, Eric
Mm-hmm.
Lubin that just won last weekend too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
he got a title shot coming up.
yeah,
That was for a title nomination right there.
yeah,
Erson
yeah.
Lubin.
When he beat Ardrell Holmes, pretty much stopped him, right? So he already called out, the IBF champion there, Murder Zaliev. So they trying
Yeah,
to get
and I
that.
think that's all bad for him. Like, I think, man, Bakawan, man, kind of too much. I actually was at that Tim Tszyu and Bakawan fight. Tonio fought on the
Yeah,
undercard,
yeah.
and I know when we was in the weight so I wasn't really I wasn't too fond. I wasn't hip to him, but like that until like maybe when I first found out that fight was met with him and Tim Tszyu, and
Mm-hmm,
they was gonna be the main event. So I started looking him up. And I'm like, damn, this dude, you know what I'm saying? This dude, like he hit hard. So when I actually was at the weigh-in,
mm-hmm,
I was talking to a couple other content creators. I ain't gonna, mention their name, but I'm telling them, they asked me did I see the dude Tim Tszyu was fighting. The whole time he's sitting beside me though. So I'm like, nah, I haven't seen him, in person yet, right? So when they called their name, the weigh-in, I seen him stand up, right? And I'm looking at Tim Tszyu, and I'm like, man, this gonna be a hard fight with Tim Tszyu. I'm like, this dude. Now I'm 6'5". I mean, you know that. You see me in person.
yeah.
This dude, like he about 6'2". You know what I'm saying? I don't
Mm-hmm,
even go by what Boxing Rec say. Boxing Rec say he like 6 feet or 6'1". I think they say 6 feet, but he about 6'2".
mm-hmm,
That dude about 6'2", man. I'm 6'5". He's not no real. Yeah, he about 6'2". If you look at him, at least 6'1" and a half.
mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu look way shorter than him, like way smaller than him, weight, height, everything. Like I'm looking at both of them. I'm like, and dude hit hard, man. Dude, he come forward. He got a nice little reach, and he hit hard. I think it's gonna be a hard. That's gonna be a real hard fight for Erson Lubin. And he can take a punch.
Yeah. And we saw what happened with Lubin in his fight there against Fundora.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another tall guy that he went up against, and we ended up getting beat up there. And I know that he's trying to go off the momentum of his fight with Ardrell Holmes, but for
Mm-hmm.
me, I said that Ardrell Holmes really just showed up there just to show up. Someone
Yeah.
said he was like a sparring partner for Eric Lubin. I'm like, man, he didn't even really work like a sparring partner, because at least with a sparring partner, sometimes they'll be able to, kind of like work with you as far as like, showing what you could be weak at or what you could be strong at.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't really do much of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think he's really like the boogeyman of the division. I think he's the boogeyman of the division, at the 154-pound division. Him and then the other boy, what's the boy name? He fought on the same card, on the Tim Tszyu card. He had beat the dude Johan Gonzalez that night. Johan
Oh
Gonzalez
yeah, damn, my dude. Yeah, let me pull him up because he's over there in Texas, man.
started with a T. His last name started with a T.
Yeah, Yoenis Tejas. Yoenis Tejas.
Yeah,
He got the interim belt for the WBA. Like
yeah,
he beat J Rock.
yeah. I know.
Yeah, you was
And,
out
and,
there
and I
for
said,
that.
yeah, we was at the fight. I said, I kept telling everybody, man, J Rock was gonna lose. Like I like J Rock like as a person, but
Mm-hmm.
right before that, he was spawned. He was spawned, a guy out of DC, and I went up there with them out Philly,
Mm-hmm.
and the young guy from DC was he was touching him up, like I'm talking about making him look like like it wasn't nothing. And I had just watched dude fight, and I'm like, man, I don't see him beating him. I just can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe the old J Rock, when J Rock was like 25 and stuff like that, 24, maybe, you know what I'm saying? That J Rock could have maybe gave him some go, but J Rock now, nah, he couldn't beat that dude.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was the thing that I saw with J Rock, that he was like on the downturn. So with him going up against Tez, I was like, man, yeah, I don't really see him doing much against Tez at that fight
Mhm.
in March. So that was something, man. What I got here for the next joint, man, it said it had something over at Rosecroft, right, with the Jeter Promotions joint. Number of local fighters are on that card. You know what I'm saying? They were able to, show up and show out on that joint, man. So if anybody, like, was there anyone that like stood out on that card to you?
On the Rose Club card,
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the Rose Cross fights. Who was on the Rose Cross card? Oh,
Yeah.
that was with oh no, that was with nah, they was out Bowie. That was Bowie with Stephen Hobbs, Bricklayer.
Mm.
That was Bowie, right? So
This
who
was
was that was Wayne in
this
them?
one was like Sugar Sheed on it, Victor Williams,
Oh
Rico
yeah, 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 yeah,
Williams.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even go to the fights.
Mm.
I ain't go to the Rose Cross fights. That's crazy too. I said the next fight I was gonna go to was June. Yeah, the June fights.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Keyshawn. Keyshawn on the fight. It
Mm-hmm.
was another fight in June I was gonna go to. I committed to. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I got to look at the rest of the schedule there for June after this June 7th joint, but yeah, you had this thing here with Jeter Promotions. You had Nasheed Smith on there, Victor
mm,
Williams on there. Was like headlined by Ezra Turner or whatnot. So he won a belt, like a NBA light heavyweight title on there. But for me, it was more Sugar Sheed because she was supposed to be on a joint there for March 1st, but they couldn't get an opponent in time, so we had to wait it out until he was put in this position to fight Jeremy
mm,
Colors. So there, he fought an undefeated opponent there on that joint, man, and was able to get a stoppage victory on there. So definitely was able to do his thing.
mm,
Looking for more from him. I don't know, maybe they'll have another shot for him to get on the card here, another major card here later this year. I'm gonna just say later this year on
mm.
that. You feel me? So that's
Try
what
to get
that is.
on. Try to get on Tank and Lamont card.
Yeah. So he tried to see if he could work that in. Of course, all of them, been in the gym, out there headbangers. So we gonna try to see if he could get back at it there on the next joint. Now, next thing was, I was over at the joint with Greg Outlaw. We stopped Wendy Martinez at Bowie State. You know what I mean?
Oh
He
yeah.
has the WBA, NABA welterweight title. And I'm looking for him to try to build himself up there in the rankings at welterweight. He
Mm-hmm.
might have more plans to do or more cards there over at Bowie State. So we got his own thing that he's doing. So we're trying to get a few of these fighters to be able to get in fights too at Bowie State. So I know they got like a little program with. He had like a few fighters there that usually fight in Baltimore. So maybe he could get more of those fighters to get in once he has his next fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So him with his bout against Wendy Martinez, I felt like he was like really sharp on that, man. But Martinez really didn't give him much resistance there early, but he just overwhelmed Martinez on that fight.
Yeah, I about to say just saying some I just left some good sparring like not too long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you was sending the message, I was actually in the gym.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I talked to you. I'll show you off when we offline or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was some good sparring of Hillcrest. We were on Hillcrest and got some good sparring or whatever.
Word. Word. Yeah, they have a number of good fighters out there at Hillcrest, man. A number of them. I know they. We had like one of their fighters that was on that card there on the 26th, but that one, I felt like that was like a almost like a rush job. Just to be honest with you, they tried to find an opponent, and
Mm-hmm.
that opponent there, man, that was just a bad matchup for me, man. It just ended up being a bad matchup. Dude, really couldn't hurt the guy that was out there, and it just ended up being like a real bad matchup. From the start, like round one, you could see what was going on there on that instance. So hopefully, my guy there is able to get back at it and get another fight in and get back in the
Mm-hmm.
win column, because I think that one was more about him rushing to get a fight, and it wouldn't really matter who the opponent was. It was just that I guess they didn't really see what was going on with what was going down with Juan Martinez there before they ended up having him come over to Bowie to have the fight with Jakim Hutchinson.
I'm not hitting it. What's his name?
Jakim Hutchinson, they're over at Hillcrest.
I think that's the hold up. Let me see real quick. I think that's the one that the TO spot. Hold up.
Mm. But yeah, while he goes
You
over
got
there,
dreads? You got dreadlocks?
nah, he got a shortcut, like like me,
Okay, what's the one with like the blondish dreads?
You talking about Francois Scarborough Jr.?
Yeah, that's his one.
Yeah, yeah, like he been doing his work. You know what I'm saying? So like he's coming up in that super featherweight division. So he had his joint there where they had that fight card with at Pro Box, that last Pro Box joint over at Maryland Live last month. Yeah, like he was doing his thing there on that card. So that was something there with that fight card that was last month. We was talking about that there with Lamont Roach Senior. So
Brother Live.
yeah, yeah,
Brother Live Casino. Yeah, that
yeah,
was a good card. That was a good fights on there. I like the home team, man, showed out, especially my man little Ben Johnson. Ben
yeah.
Johnson showed out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh who else showed like Body Snatcher, Dave Whitmire.
Yep.
Dave Whitmire showed out too. Like everybody showed out. It was a lot of knockouts too, like a lot of stoppage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was some good fights on it. What you think about the guy Larry Riccio?
Ricio, hey, I mean, hey, like bro, Lamont Senior was saying, like he's like one that was supposed to be really live, to come up in the short amount of fights that he already has.
Mm-hmm.
So that's someone to look out for here in the area as well. That's been doing work over here in the past few fights. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you said the thing there with Ben Johnson, like when I was mentioning Mykal Fox, he's been doing a lot of work, out there with Ben Johnson as far as like sparring and that type of stuff that prepare for his fight against Serhii Bohachuk too. So yeah, Ben Johnson been definitely doing his thing here in his first three or so fights. Like he really been getting that many rounds in, man. He's been stopping a number of those guys in the first round, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yep. And speaking of,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, now go ahead.
No, let's say that speaking of fighters that's been stopping their opponents there within like the first round or so, man, you got Deric Davis fighting on June 7th in Norfolk, and he's gonna be going up against Naheem Parker, man. Uh, and I see Naheem Parker's past, two fights, or at least seen it on the rec. We had like a stoppage loss his last fight out. Man, it's looking like that's gonna be another stoppage here for Scooter, bro. You know what I
Well,
mean?
on the guy Naeem Parker,
Yeah,
who is he? I'm not in Naeem Parker.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Pull him up. You know what I'm saying? He got like a record of 5-2. You know what I mean? He from Camden.
He from Jersey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had like his first few fights over in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, he 5-2. He Canada, Jersey.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
he started off 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, started off 5-0, but then his last bout was against Francisco Rodriguez. That was on the boots card. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
he ended up getting stopped on that joint, man. So here, they got this other joint with Deric Davis, and of course, I talked with Scooter here, a couple weeks ago. He's been out there, of course, at Head Vegas. He's been ready to go. The thing about it, he said that once he had his fight out there March 1st over at the Barclays Center, he said like matchmaker for Top Rank called up Barry Hunter and said, hey, yo, hey, I want him on this card here June 7th. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah.
yep. So he said, "Hey, all right, we'll make it happen." So yeah, once he was done with the fight on March 1st, it was like, "Hey, let's get right back at it and put him on this thing here for ESPN Scope Arena, Norfolk, Virginia, June 7th, man."
Mm. Mm.
So yeah, that's gonna be a good joint, man. A good whole card. So definitely looking forward to it. Of course, you go ahead, Keyshawn Davis in there defending his WBO lightweight title against Edwin De Los Santos or that joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have, of course, Kelvin Davis. That'll be on there. He's facing Naheem Albright, Abdullah Mason, going up against Jeremiah Nakathila, and Keon Davis will be on there as well against Michael Velez Garcia. And it's supposed to have Troy Isley on the card as well. That's supposed to be scheduled to fight Atuni Williams there in the middleweight division too. So we got like a good set of fighters there, of course, from the area, whether it's over in Norfolk, DC area, Alexandria, all that. They gonna be all part of that card. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's basically the rundown on that joint, man. Hey, what do
Mm.
you think about the whole card?
Well, I think a tough. I think the Keyshawn Davis fight is going to plan out kind of different the way everybody think it's going to plan out. Everybody think because Shakur really respected that man a lot, whereas though he kept jumping in and out the pocket and he wasn't engaging. They
Mm-hmm.
thinking that you know it's going to be like a real tough fight for Keyshawn. But I just think just styles make fights. I think about the seventh or the seventh, eighth round, man, Keyshawn will start picking them apart. Like I think he gonna pick Edwin De Los Santos apart. And then I think the way he beat Edwin De Los Santos, a lot of people ain't gonna really be talking real highly of him no more. You gotta look at, just because they thinking just because he did that, he clipped Rayo, you know, once he did that, like everybody pushed him real high, like, you know what I'm saying? They pushed
Mm-hmm.
him real high and started putting him in the top five in the lightweight division and all this other goofy stuff when Shakur was, respected him and running from him. Then Richardson Hitchens went on there and was saying like, how dude got popped and he hit hard and all this other stuff. So it kind of boosted him. But you gotta look at it. What Edwin De Los Santos really do other than, beat Rayo Venezuela? Like Joseph Adorno, I was at that fight. Like it wasn't impressive. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
at all. Oh my god.
Like that was a boring fight.
Yeah.
I was dead. I
Ooh.
realized left out
Ooh.
and stayed in the lobby until the fight was over because it was so hot and this fight was boring.
Yeah.
Like it really was boring. So like, I mean, I don't see him like I don't think he gonna beat I don't think he got a chance of beating Key. Well, anybody got a chance, anybody got a punch a chance. He do got pop. But Keyshawn not gonna let him land nothing flesh.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like Keyshawn he gonna be behind that shoulder, he gonna be all the way up in his chest. And it's gonna be hard for him to really get off like he wants to. And he keep talking stuff like everybody like dudes gonna run from him and all that other stuff, but Keyshawn ain't gonna run from you.
Yeah. He ain't.
He gonna sit in that pocket and work. You know what I'm saying? So I just think I think that fight is all wrong for Edwin De Los Santos. I think that's a bad fight for Edwin De Los Santos. I think a lot of people like I said, they think that fight gonna be more than I think what it is. What it's gonna be. Watch, mark my word. He gonna be swinging. Edwin De Los Santos gonna be in there in that pocket swinging some wild stuff, and Keyshawn gonna be throwing all quarter cut short punches, sharp and crisp, and them Jones gonna be. Tell you, he gonna pick him apart. Watch.
Yeah, he gonna pick them apart. But I think it might end in less than 7 rounds, man. I said, man. I mean, I know that they had the whole thing with Edwin De Los Santos. He hasn't had a fight since his bout against Shakur Stevenson in November of 2023, and I'm not really all too sold in reference to him being completely back from his blood clot incident. So I think his movement is going to be really compromised. And with that being said, man, he gonna be. I feel like he could be a sitting duck for Keyshawn Davis, and that would mean that Keyshawn will be able to go to town on him, style on him, all that type of stuff. And he's back at the Scope Arena. Like, he really gonna go out there and be amped up for it. And I told Greg, Mr. GHB, shout out Greg Hackett. I told Bang and them. I said, yo. Don't be surprised if this fight don't go past 4 rounds.
Four,
man. Because I just think that Keyshawn's speed will just overwhelm Edwin De Los Santos from the jump, and I think that he's got to be able to, like you said, get in the pocket, throw those shots in, and slip and move off of what Edwin De Los Santos could throw. Yeah, Santos does have some pop, but you got to be able to get, properly land on Keyshawn Davis, even in the pocket. And I just don't feel like De Los Santos has what is required in order for him to, really do something to Keyshawn Davis on that fight. I think he's going to get overwhelmed early, and it's going. I'm sorry, it's going in early too, man. And then you got Abdullah Mason on that joint against Jeremiah Nakathila in the same division. And we all saw what happened with Abdullah Mason over there in Norfolk the last time. Had the round of the year.
I was there.
Yeah, had the round of the year. You know what I'm saying? But then turned right around, composed himself, and just went to work. And just beat that dude down. Vasquez down. And ever since then, he's had 2 fights. 2 fights. He fought on February 14th, and then he fought again, man. He fought it on his 21st birthday, man. I'm like, God damn. So that was like 2 fights in 2 months. And now here we are 2 months later, and he got another fight against Jeremiah Nakathila, man. And, you got Nakathila, of course, as a previous opponent there for Shakur Stevenson. He also fought like Ernesto Mercado in 2023. But after that, he, went back to, Namibia, got a few wins, and now he's back here up against Abdullah Mason.
I like Abdullah Mason though. Abdullah Mason that dog though.
Huh? Yeah.
Abdullah Mason that dog though, man.
Hey, Dr. Thielen better have something in the kitchen sink or something, but because this one might be another show up and show out for Abdullah Mason, man. And like I said it, before he had those fights, that they say they try to keep him as active as possible this year. I followed up with the matchmaker, and I said, "Yo, you really saying that he gonna fight a couple more times this year after this fight?" And they were like, "Yeah, oh yeah." They got some big plans here for Abdullah Mason for sure, man. They see that he could be a real star out there in the game, man. So I'm saying, for me, I see where he could have a path to fight for the IBF lightweight title, especially if Lomachenko is going to hang him up and give up the belt outright, because he ain't coming back for no goddamn motherfucking and Raymond Murataya. Just being honest, he ain't coming back for no Raymond Murataya, dog. So y'all could pretty much say, hey, you know what? That's it for Lomachenko. Hope y'all enjoyed seeing him put a stomping on George Kambosos. but that's likely his last fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing with Abdullah Mason, he fight a couple more times this year. You can see him in the mix for a world title in 2026.
2020, a world title? At
Yeah,
what weight class?
135. You don't think he'll stay there at 135?
Not in 2026. You know, this is
Yeah.
beginning of 2025. I mean, it's like this is nothing but May. And you said a whole year from now.
I mean, hey, 7 months could come back, can go through really
I don't
quick.
even think he gonna be there. He never been at 135.
Mm.
He might stay at one. He might stay there for like 135 for like.
What you say? A few more months?
1 year. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna be there 135. I think. Now I was reading something. I was reading some of my phone real quick, right? But I think he's gonna be gone like 135 next year, beginning next year. I think he might. A dude might got 2 more fights in, but you know he'll be fighting like 4 times in 1 year though. So, but I
Yeah.
I think he's gonna move up though. You know he's a growing young boy, man. And he what 20, 21?
21, just turned 21.
Yeah, he a growing young boy, man. I think he probably even move up to 140. Now he might get a shot towards the end of 26 at 140. But he fought now. He got what 16 fights on his belt.
Yeah,
What belt? And then the
now
sanction
he got
body
18.
18, and then he's ranked high in the WBA, right?
He is ranked at.
I think he
Wait,
ranked high
hold
in
up.
the WBA.
I'll get it. I'll get it for you. He's number 6 in the WBO, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's number 4 in the WBC.
Okay, WBC. So that the WBC, that's all
Shakur
right.
is Takeda.
Shakur got a WBC. Tank got a WBA.
Mm-hmm.
IBF is don't tell me. Lomachenko got the IBF.
For now.
And Keyshawn.
Yep.
I don't.
Hold up. What you see? Got like we got cut. Yeah, I ain't seeing him. I don't know what happened. You still there with us, man? Enough. I don't know. Look, still on with us. Hold up, yo. Hold up. Hey, yo, what's going on, Adam? Man, salute to you there, man. Yo, what's happening there with you? Yo, hold on. And it has something there for you, man, but I ain't able to see it. So you gotta see if you could get back on here. I don't know, you might have to reconnect. So why don't you to reconnect here for a few other joints, man, because I can't see you or hear you on this joint. You feel me? For those like checking on or checking in, man. If you like the content here, yeah, he's gonna get back with us. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button here to go ahead and support the DMV Boxing Network. We're gonna try to have these shows here at least once a month, or try to do it once every couple of weeks. Depending on the timing of it and things like that. I mean, we got, like I said, the upcoming fight card in Norfolk here on June 7th. So I wanted to see about getting something before June 6th, because by June 6th I'll be over in Norfolk there for at least the weigh-in for that fight card. So maybe by the end of this month here, May 30th, might have another show May 30th here to talk about it, but that remains to be seen here. But we're gonna try to get back at it and whatnot. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, I've been able to try to get more guests on the show, or at least through the Boxing Source YouTube page. So we got that going on, man. And my guy Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz War in the building here. Salute to you. Like I said, man, definitely did my thing there with your wrestling trivia show there. But next time you had that joint on, man, we're gonna get a good number of people on there for the next time you do that joint, man. I know you still do boxing trivia on your channel as well, so definitely looking forward to that there too. All right, so definitely did the rundown reference to that fight card there June 7th. I'll probably see about posting, what I have as far as like the fights lined up for the June 7th card in Scope Arena. So you'll be able to see that, on Twitter/X there. So I'm gonna be able to have that posted as well, right? All right. Hopefully I'll be able to get brother well connected back on here because he has some insight on one of the other topics that we have here coming up, right? So we do have that here. So I'm going to get on the next joint here. So it was reported here by Brunch Boxing through the Boxing Scene Midweek report that we could have the rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. in August. Real quick, checking back in with Well Connected. What's going on there with you, man?
Nah,
You with us?
yeah.
Yeah.
So Antoine just hit me. Antoine Russell just called me. I
Okay.
need how many people in the chat? How many people in your chat?
Oh, ain't that many. Well, just being real, we got about like 10 or so people right now. But if you want to go on that topic here, we can do that here real quick.
No. I want to ask somebody
Okay.
something. So listen, tell your chat. To your chat. You got if I can Zell it to you in case they got cash app or something like that. Anybody got Zelle or cash app anything? I'm gonna send them $50 if they can go on Twitter and find when Devin Haney after Antoine Russell fought and Devin Haney was saying he was quoting like in a tweet that he's garbage and his brother was good, but he ain't that good. You remember that?
Yeah.
Brock? Somebody find that for me. I send him $50. Find that for me and send it to me.
So there you go, man. Well Connected has a task for y'all to see if you could find that tweet that was made there in reference to those comments, and see if you can get that to them over there, Well Connected, or try to post it here
Or he can
on.
send it to you and you can send it to me. I send him $50
All right.
though.
Yeah. So there you go. You got that task right there in reference to that. So, but of course, there with Gary Antoine Russell, he is a WBA super lightweight champion. And he got some things coming up. Like I said, there, got my guy Well Connected that be out there. I've been around the gym there a couple times here and whatnot. So I've heard a couple things for Gary Antoine Russell that might be in the works. But at least from my side, nothing solidified as of yet. And that's kind of what I could put on here at least for now. But Well Connected, you got anything on it? If
I
there's
mean,
anything,
just tell them stay tuned. Stay
yeah,
tuned. I
yeah,
can't really announce. We're not really supposed to announce
right, yeah.
certain stuff, but just stay tuned.
Yeah. Got something. They say we got something in the works there for Gary Antoine Russell. Adam says there, yeah, Gary Antoine would mess up Devin Haney. Now, I've had multiple conversations with Gary Antoine in the past, and he's wanted to have that fight. You know what I'm saying, with Devin Haney there for a good little bit. So, that's one thing that could be potentially happening here. At least I hope so there in the future. Though. But like you said, man, if y'all can, go ahead and look for that tweet there from Devin Miles Haiti, as I pretty much I call him there. Gary Adams
And,
says, Gary it was a beast.
and I'm gonna help y'all, right? I'm gonna help y'all. This is an easy $50 for you. I'm gonna tell you when you can find it, right? Look on March 1st, or it might have went into March 2nd. I mean, no. I'm lying. March 1st this year. All you gotta do is look up the fight, the Puello and Gary Antoine Russell fight, right? Abuelo Puello. I think it was June or
Yeah,
July.
that was last June, because that was
Yeah,
during
I know I was there. I just can't remember the date.
yeah.
But look up. Okay, so the day that fight happened, I'm about to tell y'all the date right now to make it easy for y'all, cause I got the videos right here. And then all you gotta do is go back from when that fight happened, and the tweet gonna be in there. Uh, so that happened. Let's see. That happened. Boom. All right. That happened July 15th. July 15th, 2024. July
Mhm.
15th, 2024. June 15th, my fault. June 15th, 2024. Go on Twitter, June 15th, 2024, or June 16th, because he might have tweeted, like it might have been midnight. It was June 15th or 16th, 2024, and found a tweet, Devin Haney, uh, talking about Gary Antoine Russell. And then whoever sent it first, get their information, or I send you the $50, box. So we rotate. So I send you the
Mhm.
50, and you can send it in. Or if you find it, you can get the 50. Hold up.
Nah. That's for the peoples. That's for the people.
Yeah. So whoever find it, just get the information and they send the 50. They gotta send it to you though. They send it to Instagram.
All right, yeah. Hey, so yeah, if y'all can either, like I said, you go on the social media there on the Instagram, you know what I'm saying, or say on X, you'll be able to find me on there, and then you'll be able to just send it. You know what I mean? So you'll be able to get in on getting the 50. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're looking for here on this right here. So maybe those that are listening live right now, you'll be able to go ahead and find it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're here in this time. Yeah, I pretty much, like had an idea of what he's talking about. But I'm gonna go back on the last short that I had here on this thing on the docket. So I'm gonna pull that up. Was reported
But
there by British Boxing on the Boxing Source Big Week report that was a couple days ago, right? That we could have the Tank versus Roach rematch in August. There now, the report was that there has been a venue reservation out there for August 16th in Las Vegas, Nevada, and so that could potentially be the date for Tank versus Roach. And there's been a couple of hints here and there, going on with at least one of the camps saying that okay, maybe they got something as far as like phone call, because there's a couple of fights that have kind of like been in the works that would be part of this particular fight card. You know what I mean? So they're well connected. What's your thoughts on this potential rematch?
I think this is it's gonna be, man. Everybody should go to Vegas. It's gonna be jumping. I think that I was at out Vegas for the Frank Martin and Tank fight, and it was, man, it was like a concert. So I think that this is a rematch. Everybody was saying that the Mont ain't stand a chance, which I didn't feel that way. You know, I didn't think he was gonna win the fight. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's my homeboy, man. I love his father to death. But like I told his father, I knew they wasn't gonna get knocked out. I knew he wasn't gonna get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was gonna be a competitive fight. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say 100%. I knew he was gonna win. You know what I'm saying? But like I said on Greg Hackett show, dudes argued me down when I said that Twan was gonna beat Rayo, and I said that Lamont wasn't gonna get stopped. And they told me, man, you don't know boxing. You just set tripping. Da, da, da. It's not styles make fights, and there's a lot of stuff that when dudes are familiar with fighters, and you see these fighters out here, the way the world look at these fighters, at certain fighters, dudes that shared the gym with them and been sparring them for years, they don't look at these fighters the same way. It's things that they know, it's weaknesses and stuff that they know about fighters that the world don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's gonna be a good fight. I think that everybody should go because, man, it'd be like a big event when Tank fight in Vegas. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, going to a Tank fight in Vegas is way different from going to, what I'm saying, any other fight, any other regular fight. Like, I think Canelo and Bud fight gonna be off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fight. Who I think gonna win the fight? I still don't know that one. I don't think he gonna get stopped though. He's never gonna get stopped. But the reason why I say I don't know who gonna win is because it's all about who execute the game plan first, man. I feel like I feel like Lamont got a good chance of beating him. But once again, like Tank still got that pop, and Tank can box, he can fight. Like he's not like no bum or nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? That's not an easy task. So I don't know. But if you want, I want Tank. I mean, I said Tank. I want Lamont to win. I want Lamont to win. I believe that Lamont can win.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. He can win. I mean, he definitely showed it there on March 1st. Because it showed that, like, as the saying goes, styles make fights, and both of those guys have basically did work with each other as pros. It doesn't just count the amateurs where they had a couple fights. They've been doing work in the gyms as pros. So that's what it talk. That's when you talk about the level of familiarity that Lamont Roach Jr. has with Tank Davis. And even before that fight took place, like both of them talked about that, So Tank already knew like what the deal was, going into the fight. And Lamont Roach Jr., I think, as I say, the outsiders thought that, because Lamont Roach Jr. was supposedly coming up for 130, that he wouldn't really have something for Tank Davis, when Tank Davis was already starting out at a lower weight class. He started out in the lower weight class in the pros in comparison to Lamont Roach Jr.
Yeah,
Lamont Roach was starting out at 136, 135, then went down
126. Hold on. No, you mean 120. Ain't no 136. 126.
No, I'm talking about Lamont Roach Jr.
Oh, yeah. Tank started at 126.
Yeah, he started 126. But Lamont Roach Jr. started like having his first fights at like 136 or something before getting down to 130.
Nah, ain't no 136. 135.
Around 135 or something like that. Like
yeah. He went down. He went down to 130.
Yeah. Like Adam said, like Roach is bigger than Tank. Yeah, people don't realize that. Yeah. That's the thing that a lot of us has been in the gyms and stuff like that. We pointed that out. Like, hey, I mean, come on. Lamont Roach Jr. like has that thing there with that, so he's not really going to worry about all that stuff like a number of Tank's previous opponents did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he started. So he started his first two fights at. What's crazy is I didn't even know this until I knew he started his first fight at 135, but I didn't know that he fought at 140. His third fight he fought at 140. Then let me see. Then the fourth fight. Hold on. The first fight he fought at 135. Second fight was 135. The third fight, the fourth fight was at 140. I don't know what the third fight was at.
I was at his day. I was out there the Armory, man.
Yeah, that was you talking about the first fight?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Armory.
Yeah, that was at the Hopkins shootout fight card, man. I was there on that joint, man.
Yeah,
he fought at like the 134, went up to like weighed in up as high as like 137 against Rafael Francis, man. So like he's been north of 130 for a good amount of fights before competing in that division.
That's what I'm talking about. Rafael Francis fought at 140.
And
he fought Rocco Espinosa. He fought him at 130.
I could go back. I could go back to like 2016, right? And I had a conversation with Lamont Roach Jr. back in 2016. I might, I might pull that up, man. I might, have like a like one of the flashbacks and had those conversations where I talked with like a number of the fighters that I talked with in the past here up to this point, man. But I was chopping up with Lamont Roach Jr. Back in 2016 when we had this fight at the DC Armory there against Jesus Lule there, man. So he's been doing his work, man, ever since, and even at that point, right? Yeah, yep.
You see it?
Yeah, man.
So he fought.
Yeah, I could see if I could share it though too, man. Hold up, because I got that page pulled up. You feel me? I got this joint here, man. Like,
okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, so like that joint there in 2016, And the Armory, yeah, was out there for that joint, man. And I chopped it up with him back then. So, man, it's been like over 9 years since then, man. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all see that he's been, weighing in above 130 pounds there, for the first parts of his career before he started to compete at 130. I mean, he said that at that time in 2016 that his intentions was to, compete in the super featherweight division. But with that being said, he still was, doing this thing there at 130 and been there the whole time instead of, like we say with Tank Davis that competed at, 126, around 126 at first, before, getting out to 130 and competing at 130. And you see all of these fights here that they got. So let's see if I could go ahead there. You see Tank, right? And if you go down all the way down, you can see there his debut, he was there around 125. At the DC Armory. So
which one? Hold on. Where you? Which fight you talking
about? This one, Tank's pro debut against Desi Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now Tank started at 126 though.
Yeah, pretty much there around that 126 division. Hey man, hey yo, I'm gonna hit you up. My guy got the tweet. I see someone sent the tweet. You know what I'm saying? He someone was listening in and they got the tweet. So
you got his
yeah. He go for it. I'll see if let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna forward it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm about to send you the $50.
Mm-hmm.
Or you got Zelle, right?
Yeah.
All right, just go ahead. You cash out. Tim says cash out. You cash out on the 50. I'm gonna sell it to you.
Yeah. I'll be able to do that. Yeah. So I'll hit you up on that. Like you don't have to do that right now. So I hit you up on that, and then we'll get that thing sorted. But yeah,
I need the tweet so I can send Twan. Twan want the tweet.
All right.
He
hold up.
He in some type of business meeting right now, and he hit me some out. He needed a tweet about what Devin Haynes said when. So I don't know what that's about, but
all right. So yeah, I just forwarded it.
All right, I'm about to send him right now. Why is it say on?
Yeah. So yeah, I just forwarded it. So yeah, man. There you go, right? So this thing here would take, you know what I'm saying? You got this joint 125, 127, 126 weigh-ins, 131, yeah, he been out there around that particular, weight and stuff like that. But then he ended up fighting for his first world title in super featherweight there in 2017. You know what I'm saying?
Call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
My fault.
Yeah, I feel you. So I mean, you go ahead and hit him up. I don't know.
Yeah, now I'm just trying to send him the tweet because he make.
Yeah, go ahead and if you can save it, go ahead and save it. And otherwise, I'll be able to forward it to him. But yeah, man.
Yeah, he don't got no IG no more.
Oh, where? Oh yeah. All right.
But he got Twitter though.
Yeah, he got the Twitter joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be able to hook up our guy in reference to that. And yeah, so that's the whole thing about this particular topic. So we'll just table this one right here for right now. All right,
all right, yeah, I'm straight now. That's what I kept being distracted with, man.
Yeah.
We on it now, man. So what's up now? What we talking about? All right, Gary Antoine Russell is poised to make his first defense WBA super. Okay, yeah, is he close to having a fight? Yeah, he close. It should be something real soon. Real soon this year. Before the year out, that's all I can say.
Yeah, for sure.
Before the year out.
Shout out my guy, man. You'll have to send for me that information there through the joint, man. Oh shoot. Oh, he said he do the hookup, man. The winner, he said, hey, that 50, I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it because he said it's basically a hookup. So you know what I mean. So I'll get at you later on that. All right.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, about.
All right, but we got to win on it. But we gonna be kind of like being on the move in reference to that. So we'll chop it up later on down the line here to kind of get some things going because hey, that could make for something, man. That can really make for something. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. All right. Last couple things here we're gonna run through real quick. This is kind of like off the topic of DMV and the area and stuff like that. This is like major topics in the sport of boxing. You got this thing here coming up. That's supposed to be July 12th over in New York City. You got Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. You got Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. They had the press conference yesterday in New York City. I was out there and stuff like that. Shakur defended his belt. You know what I mean? Against William Zepeda. So you got that for the WBC title. And then Edgar Berlanga is facing Hamza Shiraz. That's supposed to be the main event. Some people feel like the Shakur bout should be the main event, but I mean, this is what we got.
What have Edgar Berlanga done, man, in the sport of boxing, but lose to Canelo? Like, I understand that he pouting and stuff, mad because he had to be the co-main event over there in Florida. But you haven't really done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like you was the main event and you sold out and pay-per-view. You did 300,000. You ain't did nothing but get beat up by Canelo. Like, you made all 12 rounds, but so what? Like, that don't makes you the main event makes you a star because you made it 12 rounds with Canelo. Like, so did Charlo. Like, come on, man.
Right.
I think
Charlo made the full 12. You know what I'm saying? You had your boy Jaime Munguia. He got through the full 12. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But people, they gravitate towards Jaime Munguia, and he's had a few main events himself. Where people have been showing up to his fights. When Edgar Berlanga was like a main event, they would be out there over at Orlando or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And that it didn't, I guess, necessarily work. But Eddie Hearn was talking about it. He was like, "Yo, listen, I got him a couple fights. Then I set him up with Canelo, and he basically got $12 million out the deal, right? And then in that deal, he said they wanted a one-off where they would be either like an undercard or have something over in Puerto Rico. But the Puerto Rico joint fell through. That's where he had him in that co-feature bout for Amo Williams and Patrice Boney. So he said, like, hey, this is in the contract. You agreed to it. It's part of the contract. If you have an issue with it, like, you could talk with your manager and all that type of stuff. But if your manager don't have much of an issue with it, then what are we talking about?
So who had that issue? You talking Edgar?
Yeah. I still have it, on the channel. I say, hey, listen, we got the whole thing there with Edgar Berlanga. You said like, hey, y'all been, going back and forth a little bit in reference to, what's going on. So Eddie Hearn explained the situation back in March and said, hey, we had something, we had a deal, we had something worked out after the Canelo fight. All he's doing is just going by the contract, and that's it. So with Edgar, he's acting all type of like doing all this stuff and going and doing the shot type things to Hamza Shiraz and to Eddie Hearn and all that. And I'm like, well, but you the one that agreed to the deal that you had with Matchroom Boxing. So I don't know, man.
I think Edgar need to chill out, sit his butt down somewhere, man. He be doing too much. Like, you ain't do nothing but lose a damn fight. Like, I don't even think you won a round in the fight. So, like,
right, he really didn't have much of a performance against Canelo, and he still want to go ahead and act like that. I'm like, man, come on, what are you doing in reference to that?
Man, he petrified. I'm talking, he petrified of that light heavyweight division, that 175. He's
175.
Terrified. Yeah, he's terrified up there.
Yeah,
He ain't trying to go up there. David Benavidez, Bivol, better be, and the
better
boys.
be.
Caleb Smith, like he ain't trying to go over there with them dudes.
Hey, you got
Dude,
David Benavidez up there right now. You got David Morrell
that.
too on this squad.
Bivol, better be, David Benavidez, David Morrell,
Yep.
Caleb Smith.
Yep.
Man, they got all them dudes up there, man.
All them dudes at 175.
And then at 168, you still got the dude Mabili, what's his name? Christian Mabili. Why you ain't off him up or try to fight him? Why don't you force a fight?
The Berlanga, I've been calling for Edgar Berlanga to face Diego Pacheco for at least a year and a half.
Diego Pacheco?
Yeah.
And you said who? Edgar Berlanga? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough fight.
Yeah. So
that'd be a tough fight.
But they ain't even make that. You got Osles Iglesias there at 168. You got Lester Martinez, you know what I'm saying? There at 168 too. So, and Berlanga ain't interested in fighting any of those guys. You know what I mean? And that's crazy. Then you got your boy here, Shakur Stevenson, out there facing William Zepeda. Zepeda's been like a number one contender for forever or something like that. You know what I mean? But outside of that, he had like seen a bit in a key fight outside of his fights that he recently had against Tevin Farmer. That first fight he had in November, I felt like he lost that fight against Tevin Farmer, but they gave him the decision, and then they went a rematch. And he had a better performance there in that rematch, but I still feel like if he ended up losing that first fight, then he would definitely not be in the picture to be fighting Shakur Stevenson. And the thing was, it's like they had the opportunity to fight Shakur Stevenson last year and didn't necessarily do it. So now you're ready to face Shakur Stevenson after being like the interim champion for some time. I'm like, man, I don't know. I think this is something where you can have Shakur Stevenson show up and show out.
Oh. You can? Yeah. I was about to say, but yeah, I can hear you now. It's like your joint went mute.
Oh, I don't know, man. I was saying something in reference to Shakur Stevenson there, man. Like,
you said about Tevin Farmer, about where Williams and Petty would have lost to Tevin Farmer. He would never got that fight with Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, I agree. I still think that's a bad matchup for him, though. I believe that, like, you see what happened in the first fight when he fought Tevin Farmer. So I think that you gotta look at Shakur as that times 10. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be hard for like, I don't care what Oscar said or whatever, because that, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be hard for him to actually cut the ring off with Shakur. Shakur timing is impeccable. Like, then he knows his distance. It's like it's gonna be so hard for Williams to pay all that, bringing his head down, throwing punches. That ain't gonna work with Shakur. Like,
right.
And I'm not even a Shakur fan, but I'm just saying, like, you gotta be real with it. It's gonna be a very hard fight for him. I don't got him. I really don't got to be in like a real competitive fight. I think it's gonna be a what's my man name? Oscar Valdez Part 2. Shakur and Oscar Valdez Part 2. That's what it's gonna look like.
Yep. I mean, I asked a question to Williams Zepeda after the press conference there yesterday. And I talked about, the whole thing with Shakur Stevenson and his movement, his timely movement, timely, punching and everything like that. But he said that, he feels like he's well prepared for this bout. But, I'm not all too sure. I mean, those fights against Tevin Farmer, like said, like, man, he might have some real issues early against Shakur Stevenson in Detroit, man. So, we'll see what happens July 12th. They're going to have it over at a tennis stadium there over in Queens. Will be Arthur Ashe Stadium out there, but it's like another stadium that holds 14,000 people. So that's going to...
Where you said?
It's like Queens, New York. It's not going to be in Manhattan. It's going to be over in Queens, New York. Like where they have the U.S. Open at for tennis. Yeah, they're going to have it in one of them stadiums over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what they got on that, man. But definitely looking forward to that upcoming bout, whatnot there July 12th. And that fight card is going to be a pretty interesting fight card there with 4 key bouts. there to look out for. As I mentioned, you're gonna have David Burrell Jr. in there against about Katayev there at 175, and then you're also gonna have the WBC
You
super
said against who? Who they? Excuse me. I mean, catch your Daymer fight who?
It's fighting about Katayev.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the thing with Subriel Matias, they're going up against Alberto Puello for Puello's WBC belt. So that's on that card as well. So it's gonna be a good one.
So who you think? Oh, go ahead.
No, you said who's gonna go pick?
Who you think gonna fight between? I mean, who you think gonna win between Subriel Matias and Alberto Puello? How you think that fight gonna go?
I feel like it's a toss-up fight. Matias, man. Matias is really a tough out for anybody. Say he's a tough out for anybody. I don't think with Puello, I don't think he has quick enough movement to really get away from Matias there early. He'll have to be very active with his jabs. And we had his last bout against Sandor Martin over there. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about it. With that fight that happened on March 1st, right? With Sandor Martin and Alberto Puello, that ended up being another split decision. You know what I mean? So these past couple fights, Puello's been getting through with these split decisions. If Subriel Matias is able to get to Puello, yeah, that might not be a good one for him. You know what I mean? Might not be good for him.
I ain't gonna lie. I think, man, I think it's gonna be a tough fight. I think Alberto Puello might get him though. I think Subriel Matias got a problem with boxers. He got problem with boxers. Like,
I think his movement is too lineal. He don't really cut off the ring that good. It's just that number of the fighters, the opponents that he's had, have been right in front of him. When he fought Leo Paro was able to get, out, move laterally and side to side with him. And he couldn't really cut off the ring against dudes. So that's why Paro really won that fight. All right. Yeah. So last one here, man. Will Boots Ennis really fight Teofimo Lopez? Now, also part of the press conference yesterday, he had Turkey LLC on the phone via WhatsApp. That's the only way they called dude was through WhatsApp. That dude that was on the podium had his WhatsApp notifications on and all that type of stuff. And Turkey LLC was talking about, we're going to try to make this thing with Boots Ennis and Teofimo Lopez. And then after the press conference, he had a conversation there with Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and my guy YSM asked about Boots and the status there with Boots. And we was talking about, trying to work out that deal or a deal with Boots Ennis and Teofimo Lopez, and that, they were going to have a phone call with Boots' team. Going from conversations that I've had, up to that point, up to yesterday, Boots wasn't really feeling that fight at all. It had been raised up before last year, but the offer at that time wasn't really good either. And now they're talking about maybe they want to have this Boots fight with Teofimo Lopez over in Saudi Arabia. And from what I've heard, Boots said it's ain't down with going to Saudi Arabia at all. So unless if there's something that kind of happened, I don't know if this fight's gonna come to fruition. At least I don't think so. Unless if it's an absolutely huge financial deal. That's the only way I see it. That any chance of it happening is if an absolutely huge financial deal. And the other thing too is that Boots Ennis with Matchroom Boxing, the report is he has an option on his next fight. So it's not necessarily guaranteed that he can have a fight under Matchroom Boxing for his next fight.
They saying that Teo is close to signing a 3-fight deal with Turkey.
With Turkey?
Yeah, so he's about to sign another deal with Turkey Al-Rashid, according to Bob Earn. And he's saying that The fight include, I mean, the deal includes Richardson Hitchens and Jerron Bruce Ennis as possibilities from the fight. It don't say if if he signed a deal, then that's the fights that they want or whatever.
Hold on,
But
where that's
Boots,
at?
hmm,
Where that's at?
it's right here. It's on it's through ESPN right here.
On the ESPN joint? Oh, I can't see it. Hold up.
And Boxing News 24 got it on there too.
Oh, Boxing News 24. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it on that Boxing News 24 or something. But I know that Teofimo Lopez had said something where he said that he had the deal on there. But like I said, with on Boot side, as of yesterday or last morning, that Boots wasn't interested in that fight at all. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that
I seen that too. I mean, he said he wanted to unify. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
he wants to unify.
But
But given the current situation that's going on at 147, you got Brian Norman Jr. out there fighting Jin Sasaki, right? And then you're about to have Mario Barrios fight Manny Pacquiao next in July. So you got Norman fighting Jin Sasaki next month, and then the following month you're gonna have Barrios versus Manny Pacquiao. So that leaves both of those other world title holders out for at least another 5 months. So in the meantime, what are you gonna do if you're Boots Ennis? The WBA had ordered what they ordered as far as like the mandatory, and they had the whole other thing there with the WBA regular title, which I don't understand, but I mean that's a whole money thing, right? But I don't think the WBA really expected Rolly Romero to beat Ryan Garcia. Okay. So when Rolly Romero beat Ryan Garcia, that kind of made things a little bit sketchy there for I think the WBA, right? But either
yeah,
way,
but I think Devin and Ryan still gonna get
you
that
think
run
they
back
still
though.
gonna fight each other? Okay.
Yeah,
So
because of the storyline. The storyline is big already. They don't
yeah,
really.
yeah. So that leaves Rolly Romero there with that regular belt. And then Boots Ennis has his Mando with Shakar Giasov, but Giasov is a matchroom fighter, so he could go ahead and have Eddie Hearn pay off Giasov again for the step aside. They did it for that fight just against Stanionis, so they could do it here again. But now it's more about, okay, what is Boots Ennis going to do next? As far as like, is he going to consider this fight with Teofimo Lopez, or is he gonna consider moving up? Because that's the other thing too. He's been in at 147 for a long time, and you were mentioning the thing there with Abdullah Mason, and you feel like Abdullah Mason is gonna be up at 140 by next year. Boots Ennis has been in 147 for a long time, and he wanted to have at least one of those fights with either Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, and he didn't get with either one of those guys. So the next
Yeah,
thing
that bet
was,
fell through. I
yeah,
never thought he was gonna get on the fights anyway. I mean,
yeah,
now that 147
at
out there.
147, yeah. So now it's more about, okay, let's see if we could go for undisputed. But given the situation, it's like all he was able to do was get this fight here with Iamana Stanionis. And that wasn't necessarily guaranteed. You know what I mean? So he's had 3 fights on the deal with Matchroom. He got one optional fight. So now what's the situation? Either he's going to see about what's happening with this fight with Teofimo Lopez and pay another step aside fee, or he's going to go up to 154, most likely.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what's kind of. No, I think he's gonna take that fight. I think if he don't get that unification, I think he's gonna wind up fighting T.O. I think Turkey's gonna offer him a crazy number, like a number he ain't see. I already said that what he offered him, was basically bigger than what he got paid all his last fights. So I think he probably offer him something like $6 million, some crazy something like that, or $5 million. Why wouldn't he take it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what.
I heard from I don't know, because from what I heard they was kind of closing closing the deal out, and then you ain't see T.O. go live and what he was saying.
No, that was the thing. I missed a lot, but he mentioned the thing about getting something done. Like you mentioned there with Turkey. So that's the thing that I gotta get more information on. I mean, you see what he's saying. Well, T.O.'s saying on one side, but we got to get the word from what's happening over at Boots Camp. There, Adam said that watched a little boxing with Rolly Romero as the commentator. No cap. Yeah, he's commentating on a few fights there. Know a couple of people that have been on the announcers table with Rolly Romero as a commentator. So he's
Rolly funny though.
yeah, man, he definitely is, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. StreamYard better not be tripping that, man, because I had to see what's up with my guy, Well Connected here. But yeah, Rolly has been on a couple of boxing shows doing commentary, and he does this thing as far as like how he sells himself as a fighter, but outside the ring, he's a really good really good mannered person outside the ring. So you definitely have to commend him for that. It's just that once he's in the ring and does his thing or promotes a fight, he's able to do that. So definitely want to see what happens here with Rolly Romero. They kind of like featured him a little bit there in that press conference that they had for that Plant and Charlo doubleheader. But with him having a WBA welterweight title, not the super title, but just a regular welterweight title, we has something there where he could be put in position for some potential big events. Okay. Particularly, he might be particularly interested in a certain fight that is could be scheduled for July 19th. So we got to see how that goes on that front. All right. But mainly that's what I had here in this particular episode of the DMV Boxing Network Show. Shout out to my guy there, Well Connected Elite Sports, for being part of this particular episode. Y'all can follow him through Well Connected Elite Sports. There he has a YouTube channel, Well Connected Elite Sports. You can also find him on Instagram as well. So definitely have that to you'll definitely look forward to. All right. So with that being said, that is this version of the DMV Boxing Network Show. As I said before, we're going to see if we can try to do it again here for episode 4. Maybe the weekend, I guess, we got this Memorial weekend coming up, but maybe it'll be after that, before the May 31st fight card where I talked about the Plant and Charlo doubleheader. So we might have something for May 30th, because June 6th, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me see here, because my guy's gonna try to get back on here. Let me see if we could try to work it before I go ahead and put a conclusion to the show. So I'm gonna probably go for another 7 minutes or so. It'll be another 7 minutes here, so I could get more from see if I can get more from Well Connected Elite Sports, right? But yeah, in reference to the thing there with Boots and T.O., like I was mentioning, with Boots' intention to try to become undisputed at 154 pounds, it really took a hit when Brian Norman Jr. signed the fight Jin Sasaki, because there was word that there's some people within Brian Norman's team that had called out Boots Ennis. And this was, before, pretty much like around before his fight against Ian Montesanonis or after the fight. But the thing was, Brian Norman Jr. and Boots Ennis had their fights within the 2 week period. So after that, they could have been ready to, start up negotiations to fight each other. However, we saw what happened after, after the bout with Brian Norman Jr. and Deric Davis. He had Jin Sasaki there in his locker room. So looked like, you know, they could have had something in the works for it, but you know, it is what it is on that. I mean, you know, I talked with Brian Norman Jr.'s manager, you know, when he had this conversation in reference to what he and Eddie Hearn, you know, were trying to talk about as far as like working the deal. On the other side, we know about who's out there with, you know, Boots Ennis, right? And so, and they said what they said in reference to what they offered. So, with that being said, right, we'll see, because I really don't feel like Boots Ennis is going to be rating around much longer for another unification fight. You're going to have Brian Norman Jr. facing Jin Sasaki in June. He wouldn't be back until what, October or November, maybe. So maybe, I mean, if he could say that, hey, we can get something for October, cool. But if not, you know what I mean? I just feel like, you know, with Boots, if he's saying that he really don't have that much time left at 147 pounds, then it is what it is. And a fight with Teofimo Lopez, last year he wasn't really interested in it. Last year, his intent, after having those couple of fights in Philadelphia, was to unify the division. And that was his goal, was to have a fight to unify the division. So at that time, it could have been Brian Norman Jr. or it was going to be Eamon Stanionis. It ended up being Eamon Stanionis, right? So then after that, it's Brian Norman Jr. But not able to work out a deal, not able to work out a deal. Now you're going to have this situation where, you know what? They couldn't work out, they couldn't work out a deal. So we'll see here. I guess we'll get more in reference to Boots Ennis within the next week or two. I would say. And if there's anything about it with Boots Ennis, there's pretty much one place to go. I'm gonna just say that right. I'm gonna just say that now. If there's anything reference to Boots Ennis, there's only one place to go for it. Won't be here. So you already know it won't be here. Okay. So with that being said, we look forward to what's next, and then once that happens, we'll be able to move forward from there. But all right, my guy tried to get back on. Looks like he was having some issues, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring it close to this one here. Like I said, we'll see if we can get right back at it here within a couple of weeks. If not, then I'll see about doing one on June 6th, because actually June 6th we're gonna have another local fighter that's gonna be on a card June 6th in Verona, New York. We're gonna have Franchon Cruz-Cezern defending her title. Right, she is gonna be on the card there during the International Boxing Hall of Fame weekend. Right, and she's gonna be facing Citali Ortiz. Okay, so that is about there for y'all to look forward to. And once she goes ahead and tells us more about that, hopefully I'll try to see if I can get something with that. I might see her next weekend. To see if I could talk with her in reference to that fight. That's gonna be for the WBC and WBA World Championships at super middleweight. There, like I said, it's gonna be June 6th. It should be on the zone. It should be on the zone. I'll go ahead and it's gonna be on the zone as well as part of a Salida Promotions event. So y'all look forward to that. Like I said, I'll see if I could get with her either on next Friday, or if I could get something with her before that. So we'll see how that goes there. With that being said, that's what I got here for the DMV Boxing Network Show. Hopefully we get more news here that y'all be able to follow through multiple pages. You do have the actual thing there with the DMV Boxing Network on Instagram. hopefully we'll work on getting more content there through that particular page. We go ahead. We share like a couple of stories and things like that. Let's see here. Actually, I'm gonna see if we could got him. He finally got back on. Actually, man, because yeah, I was just about to roll out, man. So
Oh yeah.
I was saying, we had one more thing that was coming up with
All right, so look,
Branchon.
before we get off, right, and I'm gonna invite you to Sunday. We're gonna go to on Instagram. We're gonna have my show, A Puncher's Chance, right? So for the people that's on, follow Well Connected Elite on Instagram, or y'all can go subscribe to a Well Connected Elite on YouTube, whatever. I do a show on Sundays. I always have a fight on, a special guest. If it's from Jose Benavidez Sr. or Caleb Plant or one of the Russells or Andrew Council, somebody gonna be on there whatever, so it's gonna be everything on the show authentic. Boxing source know that, like, we know firsthand. You gotta talk to these dudes firsthand, right? A lot of them
Yep.
shows that y'all watch, I'm not gonna put them out there, but a lot of them shows they be lying. Like a lot of content, they hear things and they just run with it. They don't even be facts. A lot of them guys like to talk to personally that has these big platforms, and I might throw something out there and they go make a whole show about it, and it
Hmm.
don't even be facts. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like a lot of stuff, I'm letting them dudes like give y'all nonsense and feed y'all false information. Just
Hmm.
like I'm gonna give you an example. Like when they were saying that Tank was waiting for to see what was going on with Rody, if Rody was gonna sign a contract or whatever to fight Tank. Rody never received a contract to fight Tank.
Yeah.
Rody, it was only talks. They asked Rody, was he? I mean, not Rody. I said Rody. Rayo, El Rayo.
Right.
Rayo never received a contract to fight Tank, but you had dudes on these big platforms. They made whole videos about Tank trying to fight Rayo, and right, they trying to wait to see if Rayo will sign a contract. When Rayo never got a contract to fight Tank. And if you go to my page, I mean my YouTube, Well Connected Elite, and pull up when I interview Jose Benavidez Sr. He states it in that. He states it on that interview that they never received a contract. Tank team asked him, was they available on a certain date, and they said they had stuff already set up or whatever. Rayo was never supposed to fight Tank. Like, it's a lot of things that, like, you just had a dude that just made a video saying that the Tank, he heard from his sources that the Tank and Lamont Roach rematch was never gonna happen. That he's supposed to fight what's the boy name?
Oh,
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
He's
Yeah.
supposed to fight Jake Paul, and he was never gonna give Lamont a rematch. And now when it comes out and the fight is announced, they go back and they mix it up and say, well, they heard from their sources and all this other stuff, but this is why the fight happened, and make up a whole nother lie, another story. Like,
Hmm.
you gotta stop listening to these. I be sitting back and I look at the same stuff y'all see on YouTube, man, and a lot of that stuff be false.
Yeah.
A lot of these dudes, man, they hear things just like y'all can hear stuff. Like y'all hear me talking, and y'all they take that, they gonna make a whole show about it.
Hmm. Yep. It's
Like,
basically like boxing talk, but they put it out there like they're actual like people that do the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they out there in the trenches. They ain't
yeah,
out in
they
the
mislead
trenches.
the people, man. They mislead the people when
Yeah.
I'm in these gyms.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
Boxing Source, no, he goes to these gyms. I invited Boxing Source to, spats with us and stuff. Like, he knows this, firsthand. He be at the fights. He be having credentials. He be back in the dressing room with these guys. Like, a lot of that stuff be false. If you notice when you go to fights, you never see a lot of these dudes that do this content. You never see none of them.
Yep.
They can do just you can do the same thing they doing. You can go back and pull your laptop up, make a whole video about something that you heard. But when you hear from certain dudes, that's when you know it's facts. Like Bernie the boxer, he's with Keyshawn and Bud, and
Good and
he
King.
around them guys. So he
Yeah.
can make videos and say, even Greg Hackett. Greg Hackett's around these dudes. But then you have other content creators that they don't be around these dudes. They get interviews through other people. Why? Because I done set up interviews for a lot of these content creators. And that's fact. You might, if you go back and you look at some of these interviews, you will hear them say, "Oh man, maybe I thank for Well Connected for making this interview possible for us." Because a lot of dudes they don't be knowing these fighters at
Yeah,
all.
they don't. They don't be knowing the fighters. They don't be talking with people within the camps. They don't talk with these like representatives for these promotional companies too, or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
like I know you ain't like calling people out, but this was something here that hopefully that I hope that I was able to see something go off yesterday, right? Because we talked about this thing here with Tank and Lamont Roach, right?
Mm-hmm.
My guy Matt out of Brunch Boxing was the one that pretty much said that it could be out there for August 16th.
Mm-hmm.
He has access to people that represent the parties that make that fight, that make that fight happen. So it's one
Yeah.
thing for like even me, like going out to like say out there to the camp there for Lamont Rose Jr. or whatever it is, but he has access to the people that represent all parties involved. Do I have access to them? Yeah. Do I reach out to them like that? Nah. I leave that for other folks to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when he put that out there and he stated it, okay, that was one thing. But it's a whole nother thing when a certain reporter from a certain large scale magazine posts the same thing and says sources told Ring Magazine like they were the first ones to do it. No, 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 no. We already had that stuff here at least a couple days before you went ahead and posted it, Mike Coppinger. So with that being said, a lot of these reporters, well, no, I won't say that. A lot of these media people that are out there aren't in the gyms, like Well Connected, like myself, like a few other folks that's been in the game. But yet they put out content or they put out information that can end up being incorrect. And a lot of those folks that follow them weren't with it, like it's fact, as Well Connected was saying. And you can't do that because that takes out the integrity when it comes to covering the sport. And I
Yeah,
don't
you're
like
right. And that's what messes boxing up. Like I be saying, these same dudes making videos like, "Oh, well, this what mess boxing up, man. When you got dudes going against Turkey Al Sheik, or when you know what mess boxing up is when you got dudes that make their own narratives and what they feel about or how they feel about certain fighters, and they put these false narratives out there and push it, and then you be having the people thinking they be having all these little slick little thumbnails and all the slick little background and make it look like they really know boxing. They really know what they talking about, but the whole time they give me y'all false information. You know what I'm
it.
saying? And it's crazy because a lot of stuff like I done seen. You can go back and watch people's videos about topics,
Mhm,
and you'll see the same person go over contradict itself like 3 times before the week out. He done put out so many videos lying. Then they go back over them videos, put out
mhm,
some more lies, then go back over them videos, post some more lies, and then
mhm,
they might have a fighter come on their platform, and you be like, oh well, well at least he had this fight up there, or at least he had Keyshawn up there, or you know what I'm saying? He might know something, but the whole time, them fighters not really talking to them dudes about nothing personal. They're not gonna announce a fight. They don't know about fights until everybody else know about it.
mhm.
Just because he had Keyshawn up there don't mean that he know who Keyshawn fighting after June 7th. You know what I'm saying? Just because he have Boots on the interview don't mean that, he knows what Boots plan on doing his next move. They know just as much as you know. They got hooked up with these interviews through somebody else. So like don't let these content creators, man, fool y'all, man, and give y'all these false narratives, man, because they do it a lot.
Yeah. And the
They be
thing
having
about it is that like you talk with a number of people there in the area and outside the area. You know what I'm saying? We talk about
Mhm,
like Greg Hackett, shout out GHB.
mhm,
Like I said with my guy, YSM. I was talk about that here in this show. But also, like you talk about that example with Keyshawn. Like you can talk with Keyshawn, the people in this camp, or you could talk with other people that are around, top rank or whatever it is. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're not there, then you can't necessarily speculate on who a Keyshawn would be fighting next. Because if you ain't talking with the right people to kind of like have a gauge of what's going on, unless if you're talking with someone like a Bernie the Boxer or like a Coach Boback or
Mm-hmm.
anybody that's working with top rank. But outside of that, then all they're doing, all y'all are doing is speculation, and that's pretty much it.
You know what's so funny? I remember I was with a fighter, right? I'm not gonna say what fighter this was, right? But I was with a fighter, and you had a content creator. Me and him sitting in the car talking, and I'm strolling on my YouTube, just I be looking at the little boxing content and stuff like that, stuff I missed.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a content creator made a video about who he's supposed to be fighting next, right? And I'm like, damn, bro, you ain't even tell me you supposed to be fighting. He like, what? Like, man, I ain't hear nothing about that. He like, call this person. You know what I'm saying? Because he told me to call the person who actually makes the decisions. You know what I'm saying? If they gonna accept certain fights or whatever before you even get to him. If it sound okay, you know what I'm saying? How the proposal sound, and then once it get past that stage, then they talk to him. So we call, you know, the PI. We call the manager, and they like, what? Like nobody reached out to us. But this man had made a whole video about this dude fighting somebody else, fight another big name. And he like, what? Like I never heard that. And that was crazy, like, because when you put false stuff out there like that, how you gonna go? And then when you put the false stuff out there, you downplaying the fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You downplaying the fighter for taking this fight, making the people look at him bad. Like, oh man, he cherry picking. He taking this fight whole time. This man ain't even heard nothing about this.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can take you back. I remember when and I made a video. If you look on my YouTube, you'll see I made a video because they were saying that this is one of the reasons why I started doing content, right? The reason why I started doing content is one of the reasons. I told is because you had a guy that was going on there saying that Gary Antoine Russell was ducking Sabril Matias. That Sabril Matias sent Gary Antoine Russell a contract. And Gary Antoine Russell did not take the fight. And he told me he couldn't take the fight. And he basically, ducked the fight. Hey, look at him. Look at this
Yeah.
I knew
man,
you would
man.
tell. I thought I said,
Hey,
watch it, my
Look at
man.
this man. Oh my God.
We ain't gonna talk about it on here, but I'm gonna let the
Nah, we
source talk.
not.
It's on me. The first day was a miscommunication, but the last 2 days was on me. I take that. I put it on the internet. The last 2 days, but he know who we talk about. But we'll talk about that backstage. Source. It was
yeah.
the last 2 days was on me. The first day was miscommunication, but these last 2 days was definitely on me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You
So
go ahead.
so anyway, dude made a video about Gary Antoine Russell ducking the Sabril Matias fight. That he didn't take the fight. He had everybody like commenting and stuff and like, oh, Gary Antoine Russell's a duck. He didn't want to fight Sabril Matias and all this other stuff, right? So I'm thinking like, damn, for real? Like, I mean, even though it's my man, like, love him to death, like a little brother. But I'm like, knowing his character, I shouldn't even ask him the question. But I still asked him, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people saying, there's a lot of people quoting this like he's ducking Sabril Matias.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him, I said, bro, Sabril Matias sent you a contract, whatever, and you turned it down? He said, what? First off, his exact words was, man, I beat the shit out of Sabril Matias, man. What are you talking about? Ooh, this how you know what I'm saying? He said, man, come on, that man, a rock and sock robot. Like, why would I turn that fight down? I said, this is what they saying. He's like, man, come on, man. You serious? He's like, man, you know what? That's why They said that's why you need to start doing content and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody hear our voice, right? Niggas say anything, and we can't defend ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said you can't beat the internet. So I said, you know what, you're right. You know what I'm saying? And I recorded him, letting the people know that, yeah, he will see Subliminal Tears. If Subliminal Tears want to fight him, all he got to do is sign a contract, and he would take it ASAP. Now, knowing him, knowing Antoine, and knowing his character, but he ain't ducking no fights. It's like it's fights that you had a dude that wanted to fight him soon as he got the belt, right? I'm not even gonna say his name because no point in giving no clout but
Yeah.
a dude, he's not in the top 10. He's not ranked in the top 10. He's not a champion, but he real live hit. He did. Now this person did. He hit him and he told Twan that he wanted to fight him, right? And Twan wanted to fight him. He's ready to take it, like, man. And I'm like, for what? What it's no point. Like, you trying to unify. You know what I'm saying? What is the point of you fighting a dude that's probably ranked 38 or 40 in a 140-pound division? Like, he's not ranked in none of the sanctioned
Everything gotta
bodies.
make sense now.
Yeah.
Why is you about to try to, you know what I'm saying, send this man a contract? Like, what
I was
sense
just
does that
talking
make?
to my homie the other day. I said I think Twan might be the boogeyman of the 140 division because I said I hear everybody else, Africa, Tio, Devin. I hear everybody call him boots out, which is crazy to me. I hear everybody calling Eric, but they all leaving out one person's name. And if I'm not mistaken, in boxing, ain't in every division there's 4 champs, right? Unless you undisputed. Why they not saying Twan name?
Boots ain't even at 140.
No, I know that, but that's what I'm doing. T.O., you at 140, you a champ. Why you don't want to fight Twan? Unify with that. Devin, you shot a shot after Twan and lost that one fight. Then after this fight, you real humble. When they asked him, did the one name answers, the one word answers to each name, he said tough. Nah, ain't no tough.
You seen that too.
After he lost, you was talking about he overrated. His brother was a dog, but he's trash. Now you see him dog walk the guy you was about to try to cherry pick to get his belt off him and said, oh, nah, I don't know if I want that. Because Twan whooped Ryo from round 2 to 12. Ryo, you still a great fighter, but you got to call a spade a spade. That was a thorough ass whooping from round 6. And I'm just like, is he the boogeyman of that division? Because I don't hear nobody calling Twan name out. That's why I want to get up with him and ask him, because I'm like, nobody's there saying his name.
Look at Richard Hitchens, right?
Richard
Hitchens
said everybody's name but Twan.
Africa said before all this, right? They asked Africa about Antoine. This before Twan got the belt. And he was like, you know, because they were saying everybody that came out the amateurs with him, you know, that class, which they did have they had a mean class that came out that amateur class with each other. You know what I'm saying? All of them wound up either fighting for a belt or wound up being a champion. Right? But they asked him about Antoine Russell, and he said, man, he's probably the only fighter that didn't develop from amateur to the pros. He said that he's the only one that didn't grow and mature. His style didn't mature, right? So now you don't hear him say nothing about Twan. Like,
that's crazy, Africa. And what's crazy, they just did their Ring Magazine little press conference the other day. Eddie Hearns was saying, "No, me and PBC, we've been working." Because he feeling the pressure that Shakur might leave him, so he trying to press to get that Tank and Shakur fight. I think it'll happen just now with Shakur under Matchroom, but that's off subject. But he's saying all that. Well, ain't Africa with Matchroom and Twan with PBC, right? You got such a good rep. You got
something like that.
Something like that. It's not, you know.
He's with what's the dude name? TGB.
You talking about Tom Brown?
Tom Brown. He's with Tom Brown, who's under the PBT umbrella. So
okay, he got his own thing, but he's like they PBC.
You know Tom Brown. He partnered with the PBC.
Yeah, they PBC help distribute them to get on platforms, right?
It's like Young Money and Cash Money.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah. I'm just saying, if Eddie Hearns is so good with PBC now.
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, it looked like you got stuck on the joint. Hold up.
Like, what we talking about? Like that. I'm saying, I'm saying, that's all I'm saying, right? Everybody in 140 saying all these dudes' names. Bud fighting Canelo, got all these dudes wanting to fight people 3-4 weight classes bigger than them. Everything. Why y'all not trying to unify in y'all division? Gary Antoine Russell right there to unify.
My man, listen. My man ain't ducking no rap, man. Like, if you name a fighter, I can call that man right now and be like, man, I'm on the phone with this dude manager, man. He's saying, like, guarantee you gonna be like, man, tell him to send a contract.
Yeah.
Or do we need me to send a contract? Like my man, I duck it. He's not gonna duck nobody. Like, if the money made sense and they told him the fight Boots right now $3 million, he going in there fighting Boots.
That's the interesting thing that you brought up, Boots, because I know they had their amateur rivalry, and I was talking to my man from DMV Nation. He was like, "You think Gary Antoine and Boots?" I said, "I think maybe later down the line." I said, honestly, if Gary Antoine gonna test any of the champs at 147, I said if he gets that chance, because the PBC, I said if they threw Barrios at him, I said I would tell him jump up there.
Boots with PBC.
Boots is with matching, but I'm saying Barrios with PBC, ain't he?
Yeah, he basically is. Like, that's like one of the main guys, actually.
And that's what I'm saying. That would be a fight if they do that at Tron. Like, hey, Barrios, what would you think about jumping up for a weight class to go? I would tell Tron take that fight because
Tron will be Barrios.
That's what I'm saying. I love Tron against Barrios.
But I like Twan, and I'm not even saying because he's my homeboy. I think Twan can give any of them dudes at 147 a problem. Like, I'm not saying that he can beat him, but I'm saying I ain't saying he can beat all of them, but I'm saying he can give him problems. And I think he beats Barrios. I think he'll beat Rolly Romero. I think he dogs Rolly Romero. I think he can dog Barrios too.
What about Norman Jr.?
I think that'd be a good fight.
That's a 50-50 fight right there, right?
Yeah, I think Twan. So Brian Norman Jr. He got to pop. He hit hard.
That's what I'm saying.
Twan has his activity. You know what I'm saying? His activity is. But Twan threw 953 punches in that right fight. Now, what welterweight you see throwing 900 punches period? Give me one that you see throwing 953. That's something that bantamweight does.
Yeah, that's something that the people that come in light as hell, small as hell.
That's freaking like Emmanuel Navarrete or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They ain't like nobody else there at welterweight. Nobody at welterweight is doing that. You know what I mean? So
like a volume puncher, and he's a power puncher with his volumes that he throw.
Like, he has the ability to mix that up.
That's a lot of punches, man.
That's
a whole lot of punches.
That's like 2 fights worth of punches right there.
He did 2 fights worth of punches. That's what I'm saying. Like, the activity is real high. Like, hold on for the kids.
Yeah. So that's the thing with like Gary Antoine is like he could be in the mix with like any of those guys.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
He ain't 147.
He the boogeyman at 140 because I keep telling you. I ain't even just saying that because well connected in. I'm saying it because it's just funny that y'all was just talking about that as I was coming in, and me and my homie was just having this conversation yesterday. And I meant to go live having it. I meant to go live when we was having it. I meant to tell him, hey, I'm gonna call you right back. We about to go live and talk about it. But we was just got so heated in a moment talking because he was like, bro, what's up with Gary Antoine? He just won the belt. I said, bro, none of these other dudes is calling him out. I'm like, why isn't it happening? Like, I'm just trying to figure out why isn't it not happening?
Yeah, but even before his fight with Raul Valenzuela, like most weren't really talking about fighting Gary Antoine Russell, but they really were saying, but they were really quick to say something. They were really quick to say something after that decision with Alberto Puello, though.
Oh, it was all everybody. Like I said, Devin Haney, a bunch of dudes, Africa, and I like Africa. Don't get me wrong. The only one that didn't disrespect him after that, and I give him, even though he's going through a lot of controversy right now for the stupidity that he's saying out of his mouth, is Tio. Tio, the only person that said no, he ain't talk bad about him. I know you saying that. That's why I said Tio. I like Tio as a boxer. And I like first it was all right. You trying to get out that Top Rank contract because we know how Top Rank does with the pay. But now it's like you done linked up with Turkey Al-Sheikh and he done paid you and you still doing it.
You're still doing it. Like you getting bailed out. I said that before his fight that was going up on against Arnold Barboza. I was like, I thought that he would be in the midst of getting locked out like Mikey Garcia. And then here we go. We got this whole thing with Riyadh Caesar and Turkey Al-Sheikh bailing him out. You know, and I recently, like a couple of days ago, I had the conversation with the WBO president, Gustavo Olivieri, and I got his comments about Teofimo Lopez. But the thing is, Teofimo Lopez isn't just the WBO champion; he's the Ring Magazine champion. So, what does Ring Magazine have to say about Teofimo Lopez and his actions? They're able to have him on the card there against Arnold Barboza and pay him for that. Now they're trying to see or work out something where he could be fighting Boots Ennis. That's the thing, man. And it's the thing. Even though I remember a couple weeks ago it was me, you, Jamil from YSM, and I forgot your homie name, Topic. We was all talking about it, and me and you were just letting Topic and YSM go ahead because we both was like, bro, Tio athletically he can hang in there, and he got heart, but Boots gonna dog walk him, bro. Dog walk him. Dog walk. Like,
I'm trying to figure out.
Folks don't understand that. Like I don't necessarily go out to Philly that much. You know what I'm saying? But when I was out there, you know what I'm saying, with this camp, at the dungeon, not the spot that they're at now, but the spot they was at before. And I'd be in there when Boots we going to work. Like he lives in the gym. That's all he does. That's all he does. And then I see people out here talking about. And I see here people talking about, Teofimo Lopez has a chance, so Teofimo Lopez can beat him. And I'm like looking at them, and I'm like, are you actually serious with that right now? He would get destroyed by Boots. Destroyed. There is nothing that Teofimo Lopez does in the ring right now that could nullify what Boots has. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Fantasy fight that I feel like Turkey Al-Sheikh wants to see. So he's just throwing the money out there to get it to happen. Right. This isn't a fight that should happen. If you want a fantasy fight, shit, give us Bud versus Boots.
Right. Exactly. I mean, the thing is, like, you're having these events, and some of these events are some big events. I mean, people are still talking about the whole thing that happened in the UK between, Ben and Eubank. But, that fight was basically a mere formality. That was like a domestic rivalry that in the UK, they were waiting for that fight to happen, regardless of, what happened with Conor Ben and all that type of stuff. But outside of that, a number of these fights that they've had through Riyadh season and now going through Ring Magazine is just fights that, okay, if we have these guys available, and we could just make the fights happen, then we're gonna do it. But are these fights that fight fans have been waiting or clamoring to see? Not really. Like, you talk about the most anticipated fights that we could have had in boxing, outside of what we're able to do with Spears and Crawford, which wasn't in Riyadh season.
No,
has been out there.
It's my thing, right? It's my thing.
Joshua versus Wilder or Fury? No. Have we been able to see Canelo versus Benavidez?
No.
Have we been able to see, as you mentioned, Boots Ennis versus Bud Crawford? No. Those are the top fights that the fans have been clamoring for. And we haven't been able to get right? Exactly.
Right. He's saying he got the bag. All right. Everybody, all of us know if the money ain't right, Tank don't give a F what you say about him. He not doing the fight. You got this money. You split. He says Tank name for clout. Like in the press conference, he brought Tank up. We all know why he brought Tank up. But he brought Tank up. All right. Throw Tank a bag. I bet you throw Tank a bag of money that he can't refuse. I bet you he'll say line Shakur up. You got all this money for these dream fights.
Hey, you got this money. You got this money. You got all this money here for like you said, Bud versus Canelo. Okay, people want to see this fight between Tank versus Shakur. What's up?
People want to see Canelo versus Benavidez. Benavidez versus Bivol. Canelo Bivol rematch.
Yeah.
These fights, yeah.
You know, but all these other joints, man, I'm like, hey, they could be, good fights. They could end up being good fights. They could look like good matchups on paper. But as far as like the top fights that fans have been clamoring for, we haven't been able to make that happen yet. You know what I mean?
Nope.
So
it's like we got a bunch of the fights that he as a fan wanted to see.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing about it. Like him as a fan, okay, cool. But outside of that, when it comes to the general public or whatever, not really. You know what I'm saying? Like this fight card coming up July 12th is going to be a good fight card.
It's a good fight card if they live up to it and actually go out there and say, "Fuck the bag, I want to fight."
Yeah, you want to fight? Yeah, because I mean, what we got, the previous weekend there on Friday and on Saturday, that
wasn't it.
That wasn't it. And the one I was surprised about.
What I kept posting, I kept saying it's crazy. The Asian man saved what was supposed to be a historically Spanish holiday and a holiday for boxing.
Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, man, this is absolute loss, man. And Tim Bradley was saying that was a flex. Having an event.
I agree, and I don't agree with a lot of stuff he say, but I don't agree with a lot of stuff Tim Bradley be saying. But he was right. I felt like that was the flex just to show I got money so I can get power and have shit where I want to have it.
Yeah, you go anywhere with it. You know what I mean? Now, folks saying that Canelo lost there against William School there, man. Nobody won that fight. Nobody.
That should have been a draw.
Nobody won that fight because there was no effort for me to fight her. None.
We should have a draw on our record for watching that shit.
Man, and folks should be able to get at least a partial refund for watching that shit.
I'm happy to sell tickets to that fight because I would have been mad as hell if I was in that crowd. I'd have been like, I paid all that money to come overseas to see this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And wait a minute. And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I don't want to go on the box rec right now, right?
Right.
But all of the major fights on that particular card that Saturday, I don't think we saw one knockout or stoppage. Not one.
None.
And even in the one that had me the most disappointed, of course, was the Bacoli versus Efe Ajagba fight. That went in the full 10 rounds. I couldn't even believe that. Oh, thanks a lot there, Efe Ajagba, for all of a sudden becoming a boxer. But still, like, yo, come on. You know what I'm saying? That was just crazy.
Hopefully, we got Keyshawn coming up.
Yeah.
Keyshawn, Troy, Keon Kelvin, Scooter, Abdullah Mason.
Yeah.
We got them coming up. Then the following weekend, we got the Cambosas and Richardson fights in Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's
you gonna be at that fight?
The theater joint. I don't think so, man. Because it's probably too late for me to try to apply and.
Yeah, I'm gonna be down there. That's why we working on going to the Keyshawn John together.
Yeah.
So I got to my guys, see what's up with that.
The thing, coming right back off from that, I'm like, nah, that's gonna be brutal. So back weeks like that, and like the following week, there's gonna be like some event here. Like that's gonna be like the whole weekend from like Thursday to Sunday or Thursday to Monday. So that 14th, the weekend of the 14th, man, I can't do anything.
I have to catch that on TV. I'm gonna just have to watch it from home and analyze.
Yeah. So I can't necessarily do that. And then you're gonna have a thing for, I guess, the end of the month, and then you go into July, and then after July 4th, you're gonna have those New York events there for July 11th and 12th. And I'm seeing if I could try to get out to that too. So it's gonna be a whole lot of events going on in the summer, man, and to try to make as many of those as possible. It's gonna be really, really tough. I mean,
yeah, it is.
So that's pretty much my plan on the thing here for the summer months, because we talk about this day there with Tank and Roach, and that it could be there for August. So
August, I'm hearing it's not official, just the venue and the date is saved out. But
Yeah,
I guess the fighters got to work on their end as far as the the money, the
yeah,
financial.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, my thing is like as long as they try to get the financials all straight and done right, then yeah, we could finally get it done. Because as I was mentioning earlier, there's a number of fighters that are waiting for this to actually be signed so that they could say, okay, now we can really be in camp and get ready for our fights. Because now they
That undercard would be a crazy undercard.
yeah, it's gonna be a crazy undercard, yo.
Certain individual was talking about it early in our sit down. I was like, shit, you do your thing June 7th, you might get that ticket to Vegas for that undercard too.
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't gonna give out too much who that certain individual I was talking to earlier. And, the source know though. The boxing source knows everything.
Well. I mean, I may have an idea there on that, but also my guy, well connected, may have something on that too. Because given where you was at, we could have a couple more things in the works, for that card too. So let's talk about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be something there, man. But I'm just saying, like, hey,
Yeah,
man,
that's why I'm like, after that Keyshawn fight, I might chill for a little bit because once that Roach and Tank Roach rematch gets set, I might have to try to set my eyes, hopefully, to go to Vegas for that, man. Just depending on who all on the undercard to go with them. If that, I'm hearing Cool Boy and Oshaki might be on that, So, I mean,
yeah. I'll be able to send some stuff on it as far as like the potential card, because we talked about it. Or at least I talked about it with my guy Matt at Brunch Boxing on the midweek report on Wednesday. Where he was talking about if the fight was going to be there on August 16th. But we said for a while that they worked on that fight between Oshaki Foster and Stephen
Cool
Boy.
Boy.
So there's that, and then we could potentially have a defense by Carlos Adames against his mandatory challenger. So
Carlos Adames need to stop faking on my man Troy, talking down like me and Carlos had a couple of words. When I brought up Troy's name, he got all mad like, what has Troy accomplished? What is this guy? I fight guys with legs. That Troy retweeted it and said, yeah, if you scared, just say you scared. If you don't really want to try to fight the best. I was like, oh shit, Carlos, this man been screaming your name out for almost a year now, good brother.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I'm waiting for the joint there with Troy Isley. He's supposed to be on that fight card June 7th against Tony Williams. We gets in there and he, takes care of business. Then he gonna be, right in the mix, still waiting in the wings for one of those world champions. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, want to that out there, man. Shout out to my guy there, L Dub in the building. You know what I'm saying? What's good there? L Dub on YouTube and plug, on Twitter and everything like that. But I definitely want to see Troy Oxley in the mix to eventually get a world title shot, because he's out there in the camps with
Troy Isley.
Yeah, man, Troy.
Yeah, Troy Isley fight at 162, man. Like I fuck with Troy. And I think Troy should try campaign at 154, man.
You think so too? I was thinking that too, because Troy not really a big 160 though. He not really.
I've seen Troy. I've been on Troy. You know what I'm saying? Seeing him, all that. Like my sister actually grew up with him. I thought she was lying, but they grew up. They know each other since they was kids and all that. Like I ain't gonna lie. I think Troy Isley was lying when he said he's from DC, but he really is from DC. Like he been out Virginia since he was like a teenager, but he grew up in the hood. Like a lot of dudes from Potomac Gardens know him, his family, his sister. Like yeah, and him and one of my baby mothers supposed to be cousins, first cousins. Yeah, like he really. I ain't gonna lie. I used to believe when he said from DC. I was like, because I've been out Alexandria at that gym, and they got a lot of history and stuff with him, pictures and all that.
Yeah,
yeah. But he grew up around the gardens, and then he moved out. They moved out Virginia. But yeah, he kind of for 160. I just think that like Jenna Beck and them dudes, like they kind of big, man. Like far as and they hit hard.
Yeah, Janabek, in one of his previous fights, he almost had to work real bad to make 160. This was before his last fight, so I'm not sure how long Janabek gonna be out there at 160.
Yeah, and then what's the 160-pound division? And the 160-pound division is like it ain't. Then that dude, what's his name, fight at 160 too. What's his name? Yeah, what's his name?
Carlos Adames.
No, the boy that fought J Rock. I mean,
That's
that's
154.
that's 154. That's 154. 160. No, Swift. My fault. I began to make the Swift move of the 160. The dude he fought for Udonis, whatever his name is, Udonis Torres, whatever. He fought him at 154, but he went up to 160. Johan Gonzalez. Yeah, he had moved to 160, but yeah, the 160-pound division, that's all kind of wide open. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Erislandy Lara. I don't know what he's doing.
Lara, he fought Danny Garcia, remember, and beat him.
Yeah, he fought Danny and beat him, but like since then, like what else?
That wasn't even the whole. That was like 5 months ago. That wasn't a long time ago.
That was September.
Huh?
That was September. That was like 8 months ago.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he still can fight beginning of this year. I mean, he got about a month or two. He might can fight. Hold on.
I don't know. Maybe they could have him on that tech card. I don't know. The outside shot, but I'm not sure. He might be able to be on that take card. If not, then maybe they can fit him on for if they gonna work on the Benavidez fight.
That was September.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't retired yet. He don't show he retired, so Lara, he can still fight. He can still fight like next month, so he can get 2 fights in this year.
Now I don't know if they got something for June because they used to have something reserved. At least TGB Promotions used to have something for June, but they removed that over in Vegas. So they got the thing for July. They got it reserved for July, and they got something for August. We know what the joint for July is with trying to have Barrios and Pacquiao, and then also have that fight between Fedor and Tim Tszyu on that card. So that's gonna be July, and then we're gonna see if they're gonna have this thing for real for August with the rematch.
Yeah, August. Yeah, it's coming up August 14th.
August 16th.
Yeah, 16th. Okay, yeah, August 16th. Yeah. Well, you forget one though. We got Caleb and
Caleb and Charlo fight this month. Not Charlo, but Caleb and Charlo both fight their opponents this month.
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Caleb and Charlo.
I guess it's supposed to be like they tune-ups for if they both handle business.
They got Coral Flake. He's supposed to be scheduled to do a workout over in Jersey on Wednesday. Like I got the notification for that. So he get himself ready for Jamal Charlo. It's gonna be interesting with Jamal Charlo because he ain't with Coach Rodney Shields no more. Like he's Williams Jr. So
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how Jamal look, man.
Yeah.
I think I still don't think he himself though. He's still acting like he's a little off a little bit.
Bro, when they had that live, what it was a couple weeks ago, bro, that joint there was I don't know why they had it. I don't know why he put himself on live there because he was out there out of like a bar or something, and then he was looking like real buzz on that joint, man.
Who are you talking about?
Talk about Jamal Charlo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so but hey, he looked he looked cool in the press conference. And after the joint there where they had like conversation with him. So I guess he's gonna be, in a gear locked in because they say, hey, if both Plant and Charlo win their fights, then they're gonna have something later this year. Then maybe in November or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so definitely try to see how that fight card goes shape out there in a couple weeks. But yo, hey, that's really what I got, man. I gotta catch up on a few joints here to post on my website joint or whatever it is. But yo, I'll get with you here right after Well Connected, because I got something in reference to what you was talking about. And
Okay.
Smitty, I'll be able to link up with Smitty too, because he been out
Where the hell are you at?
I don't know. He probably had that conversation he had to take. Carly had to take there real quick though. But I'll be able to get back with him on it. But yeah, thanks once again for chopping up here on the DMV Boxing Network Show. We try to get right back at it here either 2 weeks from now or maybe before the fights over there in Norfolk. So we gonna see how we can work that out, y'all. So big thanks everyone here for chopping up here on this live, and we'll catch y'all later, yo. Peace out.
All right, peace.